going, folks? This topic has really got me thinking, as I just sent a message to one of the family members about this, and I won't go too much information because he's my family member. I won't talk too much. And now, I'm 33. There's so many things that Chinese really gets right, and I didn't get to learn it, unfortunately. One area is I always get told of this, right? My dad always said to me on this. All right. Regardless, this is a man or a woman, right? Your profession is very important. In my culture, men, in a lot of men family side, would like to marry traits. The best of the best is probably the childcare worker. Why the childcare worker? A childcare worker is nurture. It's very positive, wanting to raise wanting to do better, very submissive, and very attentive, persistent, resilience, to order to make it a better, a better upbringing or family, or doesn't get in trouble. That's their profession. Your profession reflects how you behave, your partner, your work, your email, everything. All right, it has impact you. And one of the worst married traits or profession the Chinese will say, it's a lawyer and a doctor. I'll break it down. A lawyer, they don't care. They'll sue. They'll break families to make money. They don't care, right? For divorce, they'll break it up. If there's a crime, there's a case, let's just say a criminal, it's his fault. Your goal is to make him to win, even though it's not his fault. That is your goal for being a lawyer. Why doctor? Or let's just say doctor or nurse, all right? Just one or the other. You see dead people every day, right? And not only just dead people, but you get to see dead people every day. And as well, you get to see cancer. You always see the negative stuff, like people dying. So you don't really care how you treat your loved one, because it's just another number. So that's why I said these profession, it's like it's nature versus nurture, how it programs you with continuity of this sort of thought and behavior that is what is that word? That is autoplayed in our background, that is not coming alive. All right. So that's why I said it's very, very important to know. Now, I only can speak on what I experienced on my partner. My partner used to work as we both study aged care, loving, compassionate to those that are elderly. If they passed away, that's their time. That's their time. Everyone has their time to die. We felt compassion. We were very. There's a lot of similar traits with childcare worker. But my father always said to me, you always see negative, like people dying. Like, you don't see any positive in the aged care. There's a lot of, nothing is too much positive. There's a lot of negative. So if the job is too much positive, not much negative, it's going to inflict on how you're going to behave with your partner. Okay, so my dad always questioned me when I was working aged care. He says, your world is going to be negative because you work in that field. Your outlook and everything's going to be negative, and it's true. Let's just say right now, my partner has one from aged care. She was very attentive, very submissive, very feminine, caring, nurture with me. But now she's gone to nails. Nails is like, I did not know about this, but the woman's look is the currency. That's one thing's first. Having nails is like bringing the inner side of being the queen bee, controlling, boss, the man. And of course, they're not going to wash dishes with their nails. They want to make sure their nails retain good condition and prolong as much as they can. And of course, they don't want to fix their nails every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks. So they try their best to prolong it, but we're using that inner side of the queen bee behavior mentality. So when you have like that, and when they come to the nail shop and they spread their gossip, their bad, and even like their wrongful doing as well, how they treat the loved one, or cheating, because you're the currency, you're building the wealth of your currency. And there's a lot of gossip behind. And sometimes I just go to where my partner works, and I eavesdrops all this conversation, and I'm just there, I'm like, my God, especially the area, like, it's depending on the demographic customer base as well, because they're going to bring out the different side of it. Especially where my partner works is dealing with the clients that live in very I don't know what's wealthy in or very upper class. I could say in Melbourne is pretty upper class, like Ivanhoe, like $2.4 million housing area, and the people are very uptight, very wealthy class, and the way how they treat the men, or wanting to find a way to use the war game, try to gain as much as they can to fight off, right? So this sort of behavior, right, it promotes this war game, and left with no choice with the husband to bow down, to kowtow to this behavior, to ensure that make her fulfilled everything, whatever X, Y, and Z, and just the money, the wealth, retain the wealth and X, Y, and Z. And when you have like that, it's depending on, like, I could see my partner when she works in Craigieburn, in a poorer suburb. Obviously, the people there is a lot more like a young family, newly arrived, and they just wanted to enjoy like a bit of like, they would do their household duties, and the way how they behave, they X, Y, and Z. That's a very good sign of it, and I see my partner wasn't too bossy or complaining or whining when she was working up north, like very, very like like a working class place. But when you're on the upper class place, where these people, they talk like this, they talk like that, at the same time they come back to the shop and asking for free refills, which is like, you live in a like 2 million plus area postcode, but they just like very taking advantage and pushing her down. And obviously when she comes back to work, she has that sort of motive, no argument, X, Y, and Z. So when you have like that, it's not a very healthy, and no matter what a guy do, you can't change them. And what I'm saying in this video is the career profession of a woman is very vital in the way how they it's nature, nurture, and how they treat the individual like that. When you have like that, that's the way how it is. What can I say? I'll pause it now. So yeah, many of the cultures will agree, if you find a good wife, it brings the prosperity within the family and the journey as well. And it's very important to know that. And when you have that sort of whatever the profession is, I only can speak on nail salon, that bitchiness is a lot of competition, like the power struggle, power hunger, power over you, and to use that tone, and they learn the Australian way or the Western way, how they treat their man in a very fast tracking way that is encouraged by day to day when they do by the nails. And when you have like that, it brings a lot of tensions and a lot of like illusion, unrealistic reality immediately when you have like that. And when you have like that, it's for whether a man or woman wanting to change that individual is impossible, because you already reprogrammed them, their nature versus nurture. So when you have that sort of that behavior, it's gonna create a lot of family doesn't come first. It's power struggles, and being a queen becomes first priority because of their day-to-day, what's the encounter. So when I look at this, I start to see how I went through, and I better zip my mouth. That's the way how it is.